I need help. Last week I got COVID and it jacked me up. And now I'm delirious and tired and my motivation is up and down. I want to get a lot of things done, but when it comes time to doing it, I'm like, nope. COVID is really taking a hold on my life and it's making me lazy. When I had got it last week, I barely rested, but I needed to stay in the bed. I couldn't stay in the bed because I had things to get done. I was running a very high fever, and my kidneys were acting up. My intestines were blocked. I was very disoriented. My body was so sensitive, I was actually able to feel what the coronavirus felt like. And it was like a living energy that was in the shape of a body form. That's like the lowest of the energy it was like a spirit coming back to life. And it reacted to my emotional state. Like I would be laying up in the bed and I can feel it. It's like it was a thick wax that moved, and I could feel it crawling up my entire body. But during this episode, I told myself I'm gonna love it. It came to me for some reason. Anything that enters my body, I have to love it. But then there was moments when I was like, get out of me. I was cussing at it and all that stuff, because I've already been through too much, and I was dealing with one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. It's like always something that I'm dealing with. And when a major episode happens, it's always compact with another one. It's like a string effect of major freak accidents or just crazy things that I go through. I was going to go to the hospital while I had the COVID, because what was the reason why I was going to go? I couldn't speak. I can't remember why. I wasn't able to talk. I don't remember why. I have to write down everything that I needed to say. There was no way that I could jump on the bike. Like my car was down at the time, and it was weird and crazy because knowing I had COVID, nobody was reacting to it that way, but everyone was checking on me like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Which was any type of support was appreciated. So I don't need to be complaining about that, because everybody could have just left me hanging like, F you, whatever, so. But it was different. It actually, I felt it go inside it was like a wax that was crawling, and it crawled all over my entire body. It went in my nose, my mouth, my eyes, and it was like gripping on my organs and slowing them down. It was like a different entity came inside of me and covered everything within me. And being that I already went through transitions with my body, crazy transitions, it was just another addition to my my body structure now. I'll have to break it down and explain it. It's really just crazy. I had, this was not funny. I knew ahead of time that water is very sensitive. Water picks up on your energy. It holds memory. It holds feelings. It picks up on vibrations, and it could change. It changes. It changes. Being based off of what type of exposure it has, whether if it's vibrational or sound vibrations or electronic vibrations that it feels, it will change its chemistry, the structure, and how it affects your body. So just out of the blue and spare the moment, I slapped the water bottle twice, hard, like psh, psh. And then I said something crazy to it, like I spoke. It wasn't me. I had a moment of COVID, and COVID took over and was like, this has to happen. At the time, I didn't know why I did that, and it was really stupid because I knew that water changes its makeup and it affects your body. So I slapped the water, I said something to it, and I drank it. I felt the slap throughout my entire body. Every part of my cell, every part of my skin, my lips, my tongue, my teeth, my blood, my oxygen, the water, my brain, my organs, everything in my body kept feeling that slap. And it was so painful. And I was laying in the bed like, why did I do that? And in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, it was just an experiment to see if water is really, if water can be abused, if it could feel it. That was my scientific definition of it. But that was really stupid to test it on myself. It hurted. Never again. I had never felt that low. I wasn't able to make myself feel happy at all. I wasn't able to smile. I was just completely sad, depressed that I had, in a sense, abused myself because I kind of knew that the water was going to have a reaction like that, but I didn't know it was going to be that extreme. And I'll never do that again. Ever. But I was blaming myself. I've never abused myself before. And anybody else would think that that's crazy. That's not a form of abuse because you slap some water and you drink it. But for me, with my the way that my body is, with everything, like very aware, all alert in a lot of different areas. I felt really low because I felt like I had abused myself because it hurted so bad, and I felt like I was, I don't know. But actually it put my body into a state of shock. It was like a reboot. after dealing with COVID and not resting during the COVID that much, getting up still trying to maintain my home. I had to do it. I had to do it. I never want to experience that feeling again. I was blaming myself, but then I was like, I never reacted like that before. Like, I wasn't even thinking, I wasn't feeling at the moment. When I smacked it and I drank it, it was like a blank moment. And I never reacted like that to anything in that sense, like a psychotic moment. That's not me. That's not my state of mind. I knew that it was the COVID, because when I had the COVID full on, I felt myself getting angry, and it was like the COVID enabled that, and I could feel an extra energy that wasn't my own, I wasn't familiar with. So I'm sitting in the chair, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm thinking like, hold up, you didn't do this to yourself. I didn't do this to myself. I was like, that was COVID that did that. And at the time, my body was taking in tons of radiation, tons of energy, and cleaning it and then putting it out in the atmosphere. So the entire left side of my body was just shooting out energy for a couple of years now. And I couldn't stop it. My body was turned into what you would call a utility that produces electricity. There was times when I was able to control it to where I could reverse it with thinking of it, and then feeling my energy within my body. I could like reverse it to go the other direction, and it would have like different effects on me. But this time, I was sitting there and I was like, you know what, no, COVID did this. And before I did the water experiment thing, I told myself that the strongest love that exists out here, that's ever been, I said, I'm not going to submit myself to it as far as humbling myself and pushing my love aside for that love, for that one to be worshipped, for that one to be more respected. As far as taking my love, I was like, no, I'm going to be the one to love the most. I'm going to love the greatest love more than it loves itself. I'm going to be that one to take over that. And I had to be selfish in a sense, and protect that love, because I can't let anything destroy it. So I'm sitting in a chair and I'm feeling this power shoot out of me. My power shoot out of me. And I had the realization that it wasn't me, it was COVID. So I was feeling very sad, very depressed, very just really low. So I automatically stopped that feeling of feeling bad. I said, no, I'm about to kick up my love gear. I'm about to make myself feel as much love as I can, because part of me is hurting really bad. Part of whatever is keeping me alive is hurt, and I have to love it more than it loves itself and it loves me. So I felt as much love as I could, and as that was happening, it was like an electrical charge that was happening. It was going down from my skull down my spine, and it was grabbing my power and it was pulling it into my spine and was locking it, and finally my power stopped going out of my body. That wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have slapped the water and drank it and went through that painful experience. I finally gained control of my power, or my being that was just giving out and giving out and giving out all this power uncontrolled. So now my body is secure. I'm no longer a free utility. I'm now storing my own energy, and it feels good that I'm not being taken advantage of in that sense anymore. now I can go into a place of business and know that my energy is not going to be jacked because I got it locked up. No more collecting off of this, boo. You know, being raised as a black individual has been really just, I was left to just figure out whatever there was around me to figure it out with. And then I start to open up to myself and to the world. And once that happened, everything changed. I didn't have any guidance for myself before. This time it was unexpected. It was a learning experience. I still learn as I go, but it's been the most amazing experience that I can think of. And I was in control of it. I was able to strengthen myself. And in areas that I didn't know I even needed strengthening with, I didn't know parts of me existed like that, being that I had not been exposed to parts of myself before. And it helped me to have the deepest connection in a life force that flows through us all the way. Now, I don't have to necessarily agree with everyone's personality, especially when it's completely nonchalant to me and acts like I don't matter at all. It's like I do not need to pay any attention to that, what disagrees with me. I just know that it's part of me, it's here, and it's keeping me alive. So, but there are so many that have gone through very tough times and had to deal with that on their own, by themselves, emotionally and physically and mentally, and knowing that they didn't have anyone there when they needed them. It forced them to put on a shield of protection of themselves, to where once you deal with major situations alone, you become your own individual, but it's like you're shut off, and part of you is not cared about, and it's hurt. And some may be so busy that they don't have time to focus on it, but they're just carrying this part of themselves that they need to deal with and that they need to enjoy. You know, it's like a part that's just suffering endlessly, that they always cover up and they always mask. And knowing that I experienced similar things like that before, to where I had to be my own confidant and depend on me, and I couldn't go cry to anybody, which had never been like that before. It made me emotionally dependent upon myself, but completely dependent upon everything around me. Not in a sense of exchanging my issues or my personal situations or hardships with anybody one-on-one, but just knowing that they're here and realizing their situations and knowing who they are and the responsibilities that they have. Like, I had to be selfless and more appreciative of everything that exists, because it could just be nothing, or it could be torment everywhere, or I could be stuck in a realm that's very uncomfortable. But I'm not, so I became very sensitive with people who hold on to a lot of things and don't talk about their issues because of the responsibilities that they have to uphold, and they don't have time to talk about it, and they just keep burying it. It's like whatever, and they feel like nobody cares. And it can get like that. You feel like no one gives a damn about what you're feeling, and you can feel so alone and bury yourself deeper and deeper and deeper and release it out on things that may be negative. And you receive nothing but more negative attention, more negative judgment, more just accusing like you're just some crazy animal that doesn't deserve to live. And people don't even know you. As far as the police goes, what happened was an individual situation. Police officers are beings that have lives, that have children, that have things that they enjoy in this world. They're beings too. And it's like, because they take on a job like that, it already holds a nasty energy to it. They don't have much support. So they're having to be this strong individual that doesn't show any personal emotion and deal with ones who show erratic emotions all the time. And it is their job to subdue the situation by any means. I'm not saying it's completely correct or fair, but I know that it wouldn't be like that if these individuals knew their communities one-on-one. Like if we were really introduced to them and not hold any nasty energies towards someone who is making a living for themselves. To throw an entire company or a group of workers into a negative spot, and to be yelling out like that hateful things, that's not making us look any better. That is not going to solve anything. We are bringing on more hurt when that happens, and that's not going to make anything better for them. If they have support from their communities and they have people to respect them, if the laws, first of all, we weren't even introduced to the laws, so we don't know what rules we're breaking. When we applied for the license and all that stuff, it didn't come with an instruction book as far as the laws and what applies to the being itself. So it's always a surprise and a shock when we get approached by someone being authoritative over us when we never agreed to any of it. Who is really comfortable with being punked and having things taken away from them and having their freedom just snatched? We could be going through a moment of just dealing with too much, and then we finally lose it because there's nobody in our corner, or something finally just pushes us to the edge and we've been dealing with hell for years. And then to have someone come and stop you or get in your way and push you and not allow you to release that. Like, what? Of course you're going to have a bad reaction. The laws are supposed to be a protection for beings, period. Not to punish. it went a little bit too far when the control and the love and the care got taken out of the parents' hands and placed into a stranger's hands, so that they could take on that parent role and treat you like a child until you get old and you pass away. That makes no sense whatsoever. It has never been discussed. It's never been okay. And there's too many strong men and women out here that need their space to be their own independent, singular thinking energy body that does what it needs to do and doesn't need anyone slapping them on the hand, telling them, no, you need to use your body like this or like that. It's crazy. That's a really weird job to take on, knowing that it has a set of rules and laws that we never, ever agreed to go with. I've never been informed of the laws, and a lot of it says you. I'm not you. That's not my name. I don't know the language that holds the power. When you're told you have the right to remain silent, who is you, first of all? I have the right to do whatever I want. And they come with a set of instructions on, Jill Vaughn, you cannot do this with your body. No. I've heard a lot of things from folks that felt that way, and I was like, okay, if I'm in your way, excuse me, let me move. But what goes on with my body and what I choose to do with it, if it is my business and I am still 100% me, I'm good and normal. Unless I ask for help. I don't need the 2 cents from anybody. I don't need another mind thinking for me unless I'm completely out of it and I can't think for myself. I'm through with any type of hostile energy, any type of forceful energy that's not one. Anything that has abuse to my body since when did it become okay for a man to put his hands on a woman due to a job? Since when did it become okay for a woman to put her hands on a woman due to a job? No. I'm not in the military. This is not no army base. And if it is, I haven't been informed. I know I received ballots in the mail talking about overseas or military thing. I never signed up for no military nothing. So why am I being included in something that I've never even signed up for? My job is to have fun, to love myself, to do what I need to do to have a great time while I'm still able to do so. My job is to take care of my body, and I will be paid for taking care of it. To take care of my mind, to